It took a while for everyone to catch up, but I'm glad we're finally here. We've come full circle, except this time, the guinea pigs aren't just a select few, but the entire player base. This is no longer just a psychological experiment experienced by a handful of players. It's now on a mass scale, integrated into the entire game. How do I know? Well, let me guess. Your bullets don't work anymore. You can't hear footsteps. Semtex grenades don't deal damage on a stick. Spawns are rigged. You spawn behind someone, then they spawn behind you. Enemies survive double the hits you give them, regardless of the weapon. If the game even counts your hits, that is. Welcome to the monetized bracket. I wasn't planning on making another video, actually. I'm pretty busy with school as is. But seeing more and more people finally experiencing the gameplay I've been dealing with since Modern Warfare 2019 while people are playing BO6 has made me realize I gotta make something with this that I found, at least. So to everyone who said the patents weren't in the game, I bet you feel pretty foolish right about now. Here we are, though. At the point of no return for the software that Activision, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Raven, Sledgehammer, High Moon, Acti Shanghai, and all their other studios that dare call a video game. Oh wait, let's not forget Demonware, the entity that you're all finally complaining about now. Oh, and they host your player profile too. That's something to keep attention to. What some of us have experienced for years being targeted for gameplay modifications was a testing phase for their patented systems. This was all done in small batches, per title likely. I was unluckily picked by Activision for their test during MW 2019, Cold War, and Vanguard, which I ended up playing for less than a month because of how bad the gameplay was from this system. This was my final straw, and Cold War was almost that point too. But to prove the rigging was a machine learning system, in MW2 2022, a game I did not purchase, I used an account I never played on and was made in a different region than I lived. After brainstorming with a friend how likely the system works, based on their patents, we made pseudocode for this concept and we theorized the unauthorized use of software on your PC, such as the operating system itself or anything running on it, which means anything with elevated enough access to the system could work as described in the patents, then reminding ourselves they have a kernel level anti-cheat as well. That led to starting to help a federal agency collect evidence looking for specifically the malicious use of Activision's game software. With the program made to find the malicious actions taken by an executable on a system, running a game was the next step. When running BO1 multiplayer, specifically playing combat training, there's only one DLL that I want to talk about. It's ntdll.dll. On the surface, it may seem suspicious since Windows NT does mean kernel. However, since BO1 is a Windows XP compatible game designed to run on both 32 and 64-bit systems, Windows uses 64-bit translation layers via the WoW64 libraries, meaning the ntdll.dll acts as a system call to WoW64, which translates commands so outdated games can run on a modern system. While ntdll.dll does provide interfacing between user-level applications like the game and the Windows kernel, its presence here isn't necessarily related to the patents in full certainty here. When running MW3 2023, the process called cod.exe, when they first started experimenting with this Call of Duty HQ thing, or at least they tried incorporating it into more than just 1 to 2 titles, the following list is what the program spat out on boot for this game. The list made my jaw drop. While many of the DLLs are innocent in function, even the one I'm going to reference here, but it's still quite concerning. For example, nvcamera64.dll is one of the DLLs listed in the loaded modules here. Well, this shows that the game has direct access to the camera access library of Nvidia GeForce Experience, not through its anti-cheat software, but as a part of the game itself. This is malicious in nature, especially since it accessed the camera library immediately upon game boot, even without a webcam plugged in, just GeForce overlay on. That's a huge problem. Why is this significant though, right? Well, one reason could be that Activision owns a patent for making 2D facial images 3D to make digital copies of your face. Oh, and a matchmaking system that profiles your emotional states while advertising microtransactions to you, which that patent cites the 2D to 3D facial patent for facial recognition, which they also have thanks to the DLL I showed you up there. So, since the game has that... Wait, I think I got some for that around here. Hold on. Wait. No, not this one. No, this is Team. Right here. Line 17. To fine-tune the matchmaking process, the system may include analytics and feedback engine that analyzes player and match data to determine whether a given match was good. A match may be deemed good when a player is determined to have enjoyed gameplay associated with the match based on one or more quality factors that are used as a proxy for player satisfaction. The quality factors may include, for example, a duration of a gameplay session, e.g., via analysis of player historical data, so your database information, player psychological state, e.g., frustration level, so your current emotion and how you're feeling, and or other information. Again, that's from the microtransaction patent. Systems and methods for driving microtransactions in multiplayer video games. And that one cites the 2D to 3D facial patent, which is called Methods and Systems to Modify Two-Dimensional Facial Images in a Video to Generate Real-Time Facial Images that appear three-dimensional. Right, yeah, they totally don't have a rigging system in this game. One funny thing I ran across was that COD 22, MW2 2022, it runs in the background the moment you launch MW3. And it pulls a lot of the same similar System 32 DLLs that Modern Warfare 3 2023 also pulls. So this game that you're not actively playing is running in the background as you play Modern Warfare 3 for no reason. To be fair, and to the credit of the developers, hopefully someone with a logical brain made this decision there, but they throttled the usage so that way it would be minimal and not just running unnecessarily, taking up a lot of system resources by running 2 copies of a game at once. The last game I ran this program on was XDefiant, and surprisingly enough, when I ran my program, no suspicious DLLs were pulled during this test. Actually, no DLLs were pulled at all, and the script was working properly because all other logic that was presenting information I can't show you was working just fine. Here's that example now. Now I want to move on to a patent that a lot of people just genuinely don't know about, and it's one I nicknamed the botnet patent. Its patent number is US 118.96905B2. Methods and systems for continuing to execute a simulation after processing resources go offline. The abstract states, a system and method is provided that simulates gameplay of non-player characters, NPCs, distributed across networked end-user devices. The system may identify end-user devices that are connected to the system through a network and are available to participate in a simulation in which each participating end-user device is provided with one or more NPCs to be executed. An end-user device may be available to participate when it has sufficient computing capacity, such as when in idle or standby state. As such, the system may leverage spare computing capacity of networked end-user devices to execute NPCs at a networked end-user devices during the simulation. In this manner, the behavior of the NPC may be tested using real-world conditions that may affect gameplay, such as network connection quality, user-to-user game engine coordination, and data exchanges, and or other real-world conditions associated with the networked end-user devices. In simple terms, they're using your computer's resources without your knowledge to train AI profiles of non-player characters in their matchmaking. This is botnet behavior, plain and simple, meaning Activision has patented a computer virus of a certain type that is a felony in the state that Activision resides in and can put into their video game with legal right per their patents. How does a patent stop you from committing a felony? The last topic I want to bring up was that a certain video on YouTube that is now privated was showing function names from old Call of Duties using screenshots someone sent them of a person decompiling the game in an x64 debugger. Not just one game, multiple old Call of Duty games. And throughout multiple of those screenshots being shown, you can read that they call matchmaking buckets in the game code just that. They call them buckets, which they're really brackets, if you will. So that way they can determine exactly where you should be in their matchmaking. But for simplistic terms, they call them buckets in the game code. In MWR, they have a class function for advert bucket. The advertising bucket, like the people advertising skins, or paid to advertise promoting the game, or a revenue stream within the game, as per the microtransaction patent I mentioned earlier. This is just seeming a little bit too plain as day now, and it has been for a while. To close this up, I kind of need to speak for my own brain a little bit more than I already was. And to put it simply, I'm tired of people denying whether the patents either exist or don't, or whether they're in use or not, when they so blatantly are. I'm tired of the game being terrible on top of those systems. And I'm tired of people defending Activision, whether that be people who profit from them directly or indirectly, or even if it's the devs themselves gaslighting the players, which is wild to me that that's already happened more than one time in the recent years. But when I was a kid, I always dreamed of making video games. Even when I was playing Borderlands 1 on a Toshiba satellite laptop getting roughly 23 frames on low, and I still want to make games, despite the setbacks in my previous college artificially extending my degree by roughly 2 years, then COVID happening. But the trends of gameplay manipulation are killing gaming, and it needs to be fixed. Today's full-priced games are glorified mobile games with engagement systems and microtransaction storefronts directly dictating gameplay. Publishers use psychological tactics to extract money, turning games into slot machines where your emotional highs and lows are engineered into matchmaking and gameplay strictly to push skins. And if you don't buy the skins, they make the game unbearable. If you buy them, they reward you temporarily, creating a cycle of frustration and manipulation. This is where we're at. And it's why I had to make this video and get permission to share what I could share to shed light on these systems and their effect in gaming. Because as a person who's an aspiring dev, still learning more and more, with a lot more to learn, this shit needs to stop, and it's got to get the fuck out of gaming.
Feels more like recently what they're using in Call of Duty is kind of like a slot machine algorithm where they're trying to control the highs and lows for you in the experience. So if you have a series of bad games, they're going to give you a good game. They're going to put you into an easy lobby, so then you can feel really good about that, and then you're going to be chasing that high over and over again, and it's a cycle.
Perfect.
Rhythms are definitely all hidden server side, so...
What? Oh, no. No.
No, what server side?
Listen, there's no way he just said... Nah. No. Hold on. Did he dead ass just say this? Hold up.
But again, like, we don't have perfect data on that, and that's something that it's kind of hard to get perfect data on. And their algorithms are definitely all hidden server side, so disbanding lobbies.
Okay, that. So like, I do miss the old days where like you would get in a lobby, it was extremely sweaty, you and your pals, you know, you beat this team one game, they beat you the next game, and then you go back and forth, shit talking, like that kind of not having that kind of experience does bum me out, and I do miss that. So I'm with you on that. I don't know why they do that. I mean, I'm sure it's because
I know exactly why they do that.
Okay.
I know exactly why they do that. And why is that, God?
He's fucking snarling.
I know exactly why I did it. I can't wait to validate. Yes. I'm just feeding off the saltine energy. I know exactly why they do that.
Hey, do tell.
Do tell.
It's all to do with their engagement optimized matchmaking system.
Jesus Christ. He's literally saying it.
They have to rebalance the lobbies every time because lesser skilled players, they tend to just stick with the game over and over again. A lot of them, I noticed, they'll get stomped game after game.
Wait, he noticed.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in the back watching what's going on with this shit.
Freudian slip.